everybody, and welcome to African Accent TV. My name is Bongi M, and let us not waste any time and get straight into today's hot topic. Well, everyone is talking about all things that are Somizi and Mohale, and this is all due to a leaked audio that was released or sold, but all we know is that Sunday World managed to get their hands on that audio, and they published an article quoting everything that Mohale had to say about all the ups and downs of his relationship with Somizi. I am assuming that Mohale was confidentially confiding in somebody, and that someone was secretly recording them, and Sunday World managed to find their hands on the audio and they published the story. Now the whole country knows about all their secrets and all things that went on behind closed doors. Well, for now it is all alleged because Somizi no Mohale has came out to confirm or deny any of the allegations made by the publication. But it's just a lot to take, because there have been a lot of rumors that have been making the rounds, a lot of assumptions that have been going on about how their relationship was going, or where it was not going. So it just adds more petrol to the fire. But before we dive into that and crack open the case, let us just slot in our introduction just to let you know what we're all about. Hello everybody, and welcome to African Accent TV, where we bring you South African current issues as they happen. From sports, politics and entertainment, we make sure to keep you in the loop. And all you have to do on your side is to subscribe to our channel, like the video, click on the notification bell, comment and share the juice so that we continue bringing you South African hot topics. Alright, so this is our first video that we're going to be covering, anything that has anything to do with Somhale, that is Somizi and Mohale put together, when they first met and they dated and then they got married, and then we in South Africa created our own version of Brangelina, or no other name is coming into mind now. All I can think about is a Brangelina. But yeah, when you just put together the names of your cute or just iconic couples. Somizi and Mohale were that, because Somizi is a very, very, very prominent public figure, and Mohale stepping into the relationship at a very young age, so one can say that was an already controversial entry into the relationship. There was an evident big age gap, between them, but they made sure, or Somizi made sure to just, love Mohale as loud as he can. And Mohale has always been under some fire. People have been just accusing him of being distant in the relationship, and not being as affectionate and as loving as Somizi was. And that stigma or that narrative stuck by them from the start of their relationship up until now where it is. It's very tricky and hard to say the end of the relationship, because neither of them has come out to say that they want a divorce. They have just been responding to reports and speculations that are they still living in the same house, and then they come out, one of them comes out in an interview or in an Instagram post, just to show on how they are now living by themselves, or how they are now no longer living with their significant other under one roof. So those have been the alleged rumors that have been making the rounds, and it was pretty much easy just to put the puzzles together, because because of the time that we live in now, where everything is put on the social media, it is very easy for anyone to connect the dots as to what is happening. Someone can be posting themselves for a very long time, versus on how they used to post themselves with their significant other, every picture, and now all of a sudden you're posting by yourself, and then you're just posting all these codes, that have to do with picking yourself up and making it on your own. So social media just makes it very easy to connect the dots, but it has pretty much been an open secret of the status of Somizi and Mohale's relationship. And all was just in the air, information that we all just had to try to make sense for ourselves. And this is all up until Sunday World published an article that is basically of a recording of Mohale talking to someone about the status of his relationship with Somizi. It's reported that the person that Mohale was confiding in was one of the producers for Somizi's reality show. I think it was called Living the Dream with Somizi. So I don't know, maybe if it was drinks after a shoot, or just a quick shoot break, and they were outside for 50 minutes because it's a very long audio. But then Mohale just confided in this person and just really let the person in on what was happening in their relationship. Some of the stories, allegations. It can't be an allegation because it's Mohale's side of the story. And everyone's side of the story has the right to be told up until it is proven otherwise. And if it's in a situation where it is an abusive relationship, I think it is ideal to first validate the victim, the person that comes out to say that this is what has been happening to me, up until the story falls flat on its face, or it doesn't, or it's dismissed. But he had a lot to say about how his receiving end of the relationship was, his relationship with Somizi. Some of the allegations, I'm sorry, let me just get rid of that word in my vocabulary. Some of Mohale's experiences. He spoke of on how Somizi once threatened him with a kitchen knife. And there's a backstory obviously behind that, as that sounded to be like a jealous feud that was happening, which he mentioned quite a couple of incidents where Somizi had like a jealous feud, whether Mohale was talking to an ex-boyfriend of his, or maybe if he was spending more time with his friends. But he had a lot of incidents where he was saying that Somizi was very controlling, and also was very aggressive in the way that he just wanted everything to go his way. So we're going to be covering just a couple of the stories that were made out by Mohale, according to the report and the audio published by Sunday World. One of the incidents that took place in the matrimonial union, that we referred to as Somhale, is that on one day, Somizi threatened to kill Mohale and himself with a kitchen knife. So what's interesting about this story is that apparently this is an incident that happened 3 weeks into their relationship. And I don't know if Mohale was already, because he does confirm in that he had extra not marital because they were not married, but he did see other people while he was still seeing Somizi. So one can assume that probably this happened in the early weeks or days of their relationship. And given is that chances are, unless both people have been celibate, but if someone finds you already living your life and they find you and they want to start a relationship with you, chances are you must just give yourself a good 3 months, a good 3 months for the two of you to be exclusive. Because first of all, you have to really decide for yourself if this person that you had just met is worth your dedication. Because some people can be friends for a while before they become lovers, and some people just instantly connect and they just immediately get into a relationship. So I think it is only fair to just give each other some time, at least 3 months, so that you can decide if this is the person that you want to be committed to. And because this person met you while you were already having a life with other people, so the people that I was going out with or having a fling with, for the past 3 years or so, it's gonna take some time to just chase them away, as I see with you if you are committed, if you are worth my commitment and attention. I'm assuming, I might be wrong, but I think it's a very big of an ask if you meet someone and you immediately connect. Let's say we just met, and 2 weeks into us meeting, we decide to get into a relationship. I think it's very much of a big ask for you to expect for me to be exclusive to you from the word go. Unless, as I said, I was celibate and I was not dating anyone, going on dates or having flings, unless I was just waiting for God to show me my knight and shining armor, and you found me by myself with no monkeys on my shoulder. Unless that's the situation, then you can say we were exclusive from day one. But if we are honest and truthful, is that it takes some time, to just cut out old ties when you have met someone that you really want to be committed to. So 3 weeks into a relationship, and Mohale admitted that he was seeing someone else, but I don't think that kind of seeing someone else is really that detrimental that it can threaten an entire relationship. I think those are conversations that should be had at the beginning of a relationship. Are you seeing someone? Have you been seeing someone? Do you have like on and off flings with other people? Can you cut them off? Because I'm here in the picture now. But I'm just assuming maybe that conversation did happen. But what we do know is what Mohale said, that Somizi threatened to kill himself. Well, he threatened to kill both of them. And Mohale was scared and he wanted to run out, and then they sat and spoke, and Somizi cried, according to him, according to what Mohale is saying. Then Somizi cried, and then they resolved their issues and continued, with their lives. A kitchen threatening situation, it is not a light situation, but I do know that there's a lot of casualty with relationships, especially if a partner is angry. Some partners can throw plates on the floor. Other people can smash a wall with their fist. And other partners, I guess, can chase you with a kitchen knife. But it's that very same casualty that just lands us in a lot of hot water. When someone dies, in the worst case scenario, when someone dies in a jealous feud, and then we ask ourselves, why didn't they just leave? And I think that solution starts with us as the people. We should first normalize not normalizing abnormal outbursts, in fights, in relationships. You do not have the right to threaten my life just because you are in love with me. If we are both adults and we are in an adult relationship, then I should have the maturity to speak my mind, and then the other person should have the maturity to receive what is spoken to them. So no one at any point should just throw their toys out of the cart in an outburst of emotions. But anyway, I digress. So Mohale and Somizi spoke, and then life continued. Another allegation that Mohale made was that when they were once in a vacation in Amsterdam, then Somizi proposed for them to have a threesome, and then he said that was he revealed Somizi's sexual preference, just to spice things up in their relationship. Some people might see that as abusive, and some people might not. It depends on how much of a consecutive how reserved you are as a person for you to know what offends you and what does not offend you. So a person who is more sexually liberated would not be offended if their partner asks to spice things up in their relationship by adding other people into the bedroom. But a person who is reserved and who just thinks things of the bedroom are just between the two of them will absolutely feel violated if the other partner just wants to introduce spicing things up in the bedroom. Again, this will boil down to communication. Both people have to communicate to know what the other person prefers. And this incident, for me, it just speaks on the lack of communication that was happening, and that lack of communication that was happening could have been due to they were still getting to know each other, because we all social media had everything to say when they met. Oh my gosh, the age gap. And then they got married within a few months of them having met, and then they really tried to carry out their marriage for, I think, almost 2 years. So in that 2 years, I could propose to you in the 6th month for us to invite a stranger into the bedroom, and then you can say no, and then maybe, then I can get a hint from there that it's not your cup of tea, and maybe because it is my cup of tea, I might try to, introduce it again in the near future. Then you said no. It's all trial and error. So I think what exposes it, some of the stories that Mohale has to say, just expose on how there was a lack of communication and how honestly they did not know each other, and they did not get the benefit and the time to know each other because on how quickly things happened. 2 years wanting to spend the rest of your life with someone, you don't even know an ounce of what that person has to offer. But Mohale couldn't stand the possessiveness, the jealous streaks, and the abuse that was happening. One thing that is very evident is that there were huge dynamics that were at play in that relationship. First of all, Somizi is a public figure. Mohale was not, and he became a public figure with automatically being in a relationship with Somizi. Mohale was a lot younger than Somizi, and Somizi also carried a lot of responsibility on his shoulders. He is a gay South African public figure, so you can say that he carries the hopes and dreams of the LGBTQ community, which automatically means that Mohale is also a representative and a figure in that community, whether he likes it or not. So that is a lot of weight to be carrying around with you. Was Mohale ready for it when he got into the relationship with Somizi? Probably not. I think he was like a good 22 years old when they met, and he literally recently just celebrated his 26th year birthday. I'm not quite sure how old Somizi is. I will just put it in somewhere here on the screen just to confirm the age. But what I do know is that there's a big age difference between the two. So I'm not saying that Somizi was not an abuser, and I'm not saying that Mohale was not abused. I'm just saying that sometimes it is not as black and white as we would like for it to be. Wrong is wrong and right is right. But we must unpack these things so that we can prevent the future generation to repeat the same mistakes. Just because somebody raised their hand at you doesn't just make it wrong and right. It is wrong and right, but there are contributing factors, that could help the victims to know how to spot this kind of a person, and to also let the perpetrators know that they have like abusive tendencies in them. Maybe in Somizi's past relationships, all of these tantrums and all of these aggression and wanting to be loved a certain way, maybe those things have been permitted and allowed in his past relationship. And once you live in a community that allows such a lifestyle, it's very easy for you to carry, that lifestyle with you and carry it to the next relationship that you're gonna be in. So maybe this is a wake-up call. Mohale is giving him a wake-up call that no, listen, what you're doing is not right. It doesn't leave me feeling like a decent and loved person. It is an unloving way that you chose to love me, because Somizi declared a lot of times that he did love Mohale, but his choices just made it hard for the love to prevail. So that's the sexual the sexual partners was another incident that was mentioned in the recording. And apparently also Somizi almost drove Mohale off the highway. I think they had another jealous feuded fight, and Mohale drove out, and then Somizi followed him, and then he bumped his car behind him that he almost drove him off the road. And apparently then they both parked on the side of the road, and then they tried to talk things out, and there was a security guy who was doing his rounds and saw them talking, and then asked what was happening. And Somizi just said that Mohale was in an accident, and Somizi was just trying to help Mohale out again, on how it was too much of an instinct to come up with a cover-up that fast by Somizi. So that just shows on how much he is used to being caught out, and that's why it was easy for him to just come up with a cover up at that moment. Because if you're doing something for the first time and you're caught out, and then you don't know, like you can't say to this person, you want to say to this person, no, I was driving them off the road because I was angry. But for one to just instinctively come with a story, just so that the people can, so life can go on, and people can go on with their business. That just says that maybe it was his first incident with Mohale, but it doesn't seem like it was the first incident generally for him. So there's a sense of this being, the norm, so to say, because maybe he is comfortable as to what he can do to get away with some of the actions that he has done. And through it all, Mohale still stuck by him, and he did get married. They did get married. A lot of people were just questioning on how can Mohale still marry the person that just abused him. Some other people on social media did a whole timeline as to like Mohale got married to Somizi. They dated for a few months, then they got married. Apparently they got married in a community of property, and now he wants a divorce. So in a timeline on paper, it can be that simple, and it can also be very easy to put ulterior motives to Mohale. It can be very easy to just want to just bring to light, his motives. But relationships are very complicated, especially if you're dealing with a human being. That's a very complex person that has a lot, that is carrying a lot. The person that is next to you in a relationship is carrying a lot. They are carrying their past traumas. They're carrying the pressures that they have, on how they should be and what they should be. They are carrying unresolved issues, and just to expect for a person to be with no issues, no past traumas, it's also a bit of a big ask. So they got married, and with relationships, especially abusive relationships, I'm assuming that there's a lot of dynamics at play, because there's a whole lot of mind games that happen, and there's a whole lot of forgiving, there's a whole lot of talking, and there's a whole lot of another chance, and there's a whole lot of I can do better, and there's a whole lot of I want you to do better. Before you know it, you can be doing all of that for a good 2 years, or you can be doing all of that till you walk each other down the aisle. And probably after you walk each other down the aisle and you're married, I'm assuming that you're more sober now to reflect on things. Like there's no more pressure of organizing the wedding, inviting people, choosing the outfits, choosing the cake. Like because while you're in the frenzy of meeting a deadline, it's easy to neglect certain things that are happening. You can observe them indirectly at a distance, because you are focused on this deadline. So I think after they got married, things got sober very quickly, very fast, and now they had a fair, quiet time to reflect. And I guess Mohale decided that he doesn't like it. He doesn't like how Somizi loves, even though Somizi was the one that was just complaining about how Mohale loves, but as a public figure that he was irresponsible with his power, because whatever he said went first, because of his influence. So Mohale now says that he does not want anything from Somizi. All he wants is his car and his clothes from their house. And other people are saying that you married in community of property. You have the right to fight for what is yours. You don't borrow, it is yours. You gotta fight for it. So, but he says that he wants nothing. But I think that boy, after some time, then he's gonna be like, you know what? I deserve half. I deserve half. I deserve half. I was there. I married you. I deserve half of it. I think now, in the midst of the rage and maybe him just wanting to really be out of the relationship, then he's like, I don't want it all. But I think a lot of people will be talking in his ear and be saying that, listen, you do have a leg to stand on. You do have a leg to stand on. So, fight. Listen, it is your right. So I think after some time, he's going to be like, yeah, no, you know what, about that, me not wanting anything, I want half now. I want an entire half. So I think a lot of conversations need to happen between the two. They really need to talk it out, and people need to grow up. If Somizi is in any way, shape, or form guilty of any of the things that Mohale said, he needs to pay the price. And he also needs to rehabilitate himself, because if he wants to grow to be a better person, then he can't do that by shoving some of his negative attributes under the carpet. And I think there will be more of the story to follow. So Somizi might come out with his version of the story. But as for now, all we have is the Sunday World article that speaks about Mohale's side of the story. And Mohale's sister also came out adding onto the article, saying that she also has a lot of screenshots and receipts to prove on how Mohale was abused in that relationship. And I'm sorry for Mohale for any of the abuse that he went through in their relationship. And the best apology must come from Somizi himself. Both of them need to heal, because clearly their intention was good and pure when they first met, because you don't meet someone with the intention of just ruining their lives. I think some unresolved demons and traumas just resurface, especially if you haven't done the work as an abuser and as an abused. It's very hard for me to just kill out the abuser and just cuss them out, because we all people. What if the abuser is your father? What if the abuser is your brother, your cousin, your uncle? We have learned to live with these people and learned to just talk them through, just realizing what they do. So I'm just basically most of the time amused at people who are just saying, cut them out. And I'm like, okay, cool. But then are you cutting out your uncle? Are you cutting out your father? Are you cutting? No, you're there suggesting to them to seek therapy. You're there suggesting to them to go to the pastor and pray. You're there, wanting your uncle to cry so that he can let go of all the traumas, all the things that are making him seem like to take his anger out on the wife. So why are you so harsh about the same concept just because it's about someone you don't know? Anyway, that's that for today's topic. Please do like the page. You do know, subscribe, like the page, and hit the notification bell so that we can let you know as soon as we upload. So share your views and opinions about the whole Mohale saga. Until our next upload, keep it safe. Bye.